called on agencies of government to do the needful in view of the impending flood. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, whereas the Nigeria Hydrological Service Agency and National Emergency Management Agency had both released their warnings and forecasts on the 2024 annual flood outlook in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, I recall that the authorities of the Republic of Cameroon, our immediate neighbor, to the northeast and southeast of Nigeria, had officially notified the federal government of Nigeria on their planned regulated release of water from the Lagdo Dam, following recent torrential rainfalls in West and Central Africa. Mr. Speaker, further, I recall that similar release of water from the same Lagdo Dam in 2022 had adversely affected Nigeria's economy to the tune of $9 billion in damage to property, livelihoods, and human lives. About 13 local governments in Rivers State will be at risk of flood. Also, aware, Mr. Speaker, that about a week ago, heavy rainfalls in Borno State had caused unimaginable flooding to the city of Maiduguri, leading to loss of lives, closure of schools, hospitals, and market due to overflow of water from Alio Dam located in the said state, Mr. Speaker. Mindful of the fact that climate change has made rainfalls and flooding both unpredictable and uncontrollable, which the effect is of great concern to our people. Mr. Speaker, I'll go straight to the prayers of the said motion. Speaker, I pray this Honorable House to do resolve as follows. Prayer 1. That the House do mandate the Committee on Environment to engage NEMA and ensure that Rivers State is not left out in their current response plan on the issue of flood. 2. That the House do mandate the House Committee on Environment to engage Rivers people and government at all levels on the impending flood and their preparedness on the issue of flood, sir. 3 is talking about the God's prayer now. That the House do give any other directive as this House may deem fit necessary in the circumstance. Mr. Speaker, I so move, and the motion is signed by me. By your leave, Mr. Speaker, may I lay it at the table.
Hereby closed. Honorable members, let me commend the Deputy Speaker who came up with this motion. This motion is not only timely, but is apt at a time when some states have already recorded immense impact as a result of flood, at the time when the usual yearly warning from the Republic of Cameroon has already been released that the Lagdo Dam has been opened. I think that this motion could not have come at a better time than this. The 10th Assembly of Rivers State is one that is proactive, and that is why we must take steps in the interests of the good people of Rivers State. The prayers of this motion are quite constructive and direct to the point. The mover of the motion has prayed that the House do direct the House Committee on Environment to liaise with the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, so that we can find out what steps they are taking, what information they have for states in the country concerning the flood, so that our states can brace up to the challenge. The mover of the motion also prayed that we mandate the House Committee to engage Rivers people and government at all levels in this regard as well. Now, relying on prayer 3, one of the members, I think if I recall very well, the Honorable Ufix Kabang, is requesting that members should go to their constituencies and sensitize people on the impending flood. I must say that this suggestion is a very good one, where we're asking agencies and government at all levels to do their bits on our own as representatives who have the information. There's also need for us to engage our people and talk to them so that those who were affected last year and the year before last, this same period, should know that there's every likelihood that it may happen again. Asking them to shift from where they are and begin to make preparations to relocate their belongings or vital property is a good suggestion, I must say. Another member also called on the House to also ask the committee to liaise with NDDC, the Niger Delta Development Commission, to see if they have plans to support our people, since Rivers State is one of the states under the purview of the NDDC. I should say that that is also another good move, so that we'll see how whatever efforts they are making, that the people in our various constituencies are not left out. But let me also add that there will be need to also call on other corporate organizations like schools and churches. Schools, well, let me not call them corporates. Let me just say schools, especially government-owned schools within the areas that will be affected, to work together with the communities around them so that they can open those schools if those schools are on high ground. If they are on high ground, they can provide temporary accommodation for people who would be affected. Churches can also help and allow people into their areas if they are on high ground. So I think that that move will also provide another opportunity for displaced persons to have where they can stay pending when the flood water recedes. I believe that when all these things are done, it will help to cushion the effects that may fall on residents of the state. Unfortunately, we have a state government that is so confused because they are not being proactive. By now, we ought to have heard from them what they have done. We ought to have heard from them the accommodation that will be available or steps that have been taken so that our people will not suffer. But let's not dwell so much on that. Let's focus on the ones we can do immediately and get going. Our people remain our priority, and we must do the needful. Honorable members, if we put all of this together, the two prayers from the Deputy Speaker and these other ones, which is to visit our constituencies, call on schools, churches, and the NDDC to also render support as part of prayer 3, I think we are good to go. So, honorable members, in view of the debate this morning, honorable members are in tune with the prayers of this motion. The addition to the motion relying on prayer 3, I've merged these additions as prayer 3, which is to urge members to visit their constituencies and do proper orientation on our people and call on schools and churches, and also ask the committee to liaise with NDDC and NEMA. So if we put all of them together, we have 3 prayers. So those in favor of the prayers as amended should please say ayes. Aye. Against, say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable members, by your declaration this morning, by your voting, the prayers of this motion have been accepted. It means that the House has resolved that the House Committee on Environment, and will add the House Committee on Emergency Relief, that is the Joint Committee of the House on Environment and Emergency Relief, should engage NEMA, NDDC, and see to it that Rivers State is not left out in their current response plan on the issue of flood. The second one is that we are mandating the House Committee on Environment as well as Emergency Relief, that joint committee, and the joint committee to engage other government agencies at all levels on the impending flood. Relying on prayer 3, we also added that House members should engage their constituencies and educate them on the impending flood, and also talk to schools and churches within the area to please open their doors or their halls and allow affected persons or would-be affected persons to stay within their premises while the flood recedes. Distinguished colleagues, these are the resolutions of the House regarding this motion this morning. So I thank honorable members for their contributions, and we believe that with the steps we are taking, it will go a long way in responding to the impact of the flood on the good people of Rivers State. Thank you, honorable members. Clerk, what next do we have on the other paper?